Say, I will teach you how to think correctly. Right now, I want you to pause and understand something. Your life, everything you have and everything you don't, is the direct result of the way you think. Every choice, every action, every failure, and every victory is born in the mind first. If your thoughts are weak, your life will be weak. If your thoughts are disciplined, powerful, and sharp, your life will reflect that power. Too many people live like prisoners to their own excuses, trapped in cages they built themselves with fear, doubt, and laziness. They let the world dictate their reality, and then they wonder why nothing changes. The truth is simple. If you don't control your mind, someone else will. Thinking correctly is about rejecting weakness, refusing mediocrity, and demanding more from yourself every single day. It's about refusing to accept the lies you tell yourself about why you can't succeed. The mind is your greatest weapon, but if you don't sharpen it, it becomes your greatest enemy. So today, I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to wake you up, to grab you by the soul and tell you it's time to start thinking like the person you want to become. Your thoughts shape your reality. This is not just a phrase, not just some motivational slogan you scroll past on the internet. It is the absolute truth that defines every single second of your life. Every outcome, every victory, every failure, every relationship, and every opportunity you've had or lost was born in your head before it ever happened in the real world. You cannot escape this truth. If you fill your mind with fear, hesitation, and self-doubt, your reality will be filled with hesitation, fear, and failure. If you fill your mind with strength, determination, and vision, then your life will start to reflect exactly that. The mind is a mirror, and reality is just its reflection. People walk around every day asking why they don't have the life they want, why they're broke, why they're lonely, why they're stuck, but they never stop to realize the truth. It's because their thoughts are broken, lonely, and stuck. They think like victims and then wonder why life treats them like victims. They think small and life gives them small results. Understand this, you are not living inside reality. You are living inside your perception of reality. Two people can be in the same situation. One will see nothing but problems. The other will see opportunities. One will quit. The other will fight. One will stay stuck. The other will rise. The difference is not luck. It is not chance. It is not circumstance. The difference is the way they think. If your mind is poisoned by weakness, excuses, and self-pity, you will always sabotage yourself. You will waste opportunities because you won't even recognize them. But if your mind is sharpened, disciplined, and tuned to win, you will see chances everywhere. You will create doors where walls exist, and you will force the universe to respect you. Most people fail not because they're incapable, but because they never train their mind to think correctly. They let their emotions dictate their actions. They feel tired, so they quit. They feel afraid, so they don't try. They feel uncomfortable, so they run away. But the truth is, life doesn't care how you feel. Life rewards those who act despite feelings. Life rewards those who command their minds to keep going, even when everything inside them screams to stop. The correct way of thinking is simple but rare. You must treat your thoughts like soldiers. Every time a weak thought enters, you destroy it. Every time an excuse appears, you crush it. Every time fear whispers in your ear, you silence it with action. That is how warriors are made. That is how leaders are born. And that is how winners rise. Think about it. Everything you desire, everything you dream of already exists in this world. The wealth, the health, the strength, the lifestyle, it's all here. The only question is whether your mind is strong enough to attract it and disciplined enough to seize it. People who succeed are not superhuman. They are simply people who think differently. While others waste their time asking, what if I fail? And they ask, what if I win? While others complain about what they lack, they focus on what they can control. While others are paralyzed by doubt, they move forward in faith. And because they think correctly, they act correctly. And because they act correctly, they win. You have to realize that the battlefield is not outside of you, it's inside your head. That's where the war is fought. And that's where it's either won or lost. Before you can conquer the world, you must conquer yourself. If your mind is undisciplined, then you will live a life of chaos. If your mind is weak, your body will follow, your actions will follow, and your results will follow. But if your mind is unbreakable, then you become unstoppable. Nothing external can defeat a person who refuses to be defeated internally. The storms of life may hit, the setbacks may come, but when your mind is built correctly, you will bend but never break. You will adapt. You will rise and you will win because your foundation is unshakable. And so stop blaming the world for what you don't have. Stop pointing fingers at luck, at circumstances, at other people. The problem is not out there. The problem is in here, in your head. The day you accept full responsibility for your thoughts is the day you finally gain power. Correct thinking is not about pretending life is easy. It's about facing life with strength, with resilience, and with clarity. It's about refusing to let your emotions chain you. It's about refusing to let weakness set the course of your life. When you master your thoughts, you master your future. Your thoughts are seeds and your life is the garden. Plant negativity, excuses, and fear, and you will harvest misery. Plant discipline, courage, and vision, and you will harvest success. Every moment you are planting something, whether you realize it or not. So the question is simple. What kind of harvest do you want? Do you want a life of regret or do you want a life of victory? The answer depends entirely on what you choose to think right now, today, in this very moment. Correct thinking transforms everything. It transforms pain into power, failure into lessons, struggle into strength. It doesn't mean you won't fall. It means when you fall, you rise faster, stronger, and smarter. It means you don't cry about the mountain in front of you, you climb it. You don't curse the darkness, you light a fire. You don't surrender to difficulty, you use difficulty to sharpen yourself. That is the mindset of a winner, and it's available to you the second you decide to claim it. Your thoughts shape your reality, and the time has come to take control. Stop letting weakness write your story. Stop letting fear dictate your future. Train your mind like a weapon. Discipline your thoughts like an army, and watch as your reality transforms before your eyes. Life will never hand you what you want until your mind demands it. Think correctly, act relentlessly, and live powerfully, because your destiny is waiting, and it's waiting for you to think your way into it. Discipline your mind or lose control of your life. That is the raw truth many people run from, but it cannot be avoided. Your mind is either your greatest ally or your worst enemy, and the deciding factor is discipline. Without discipline, your mind will drift wherever it wants, towards fear, laziness, excuses, distractions. Without discipline, your thoughts become scattered, your focus weak, and your actions inconsistent. And when that happens, life itself slips out of your control. You become a passenger, not the driver, watching as your days are stolen by impulses and emotions that you never learned to master. But when your mind is disciplined, when you command it with authority, then everything changes. Suddenly you have direction, purpose, and clarity. You can force yourself to do what needs to be done, not just what feels comfortable. That is the difference between people who win and people who stay stuck. Think about the times you've failed, not because you weren't capable, but because you lost the internal battle. You told yourself you'd wake up early, but you hit snooze. You promised yourself you'd work harder, but you let distraction pull you away. You wanted to chase a goal, but your emotions convinced you to quit halfway. This is what happens when your mind runs without discipline. It drags you wherever it pleases, and it never drags you toward greatness. A mind without discipline will always choose comfort over growth, excuses over action, and weakness over strength. And if you allow it, years of your life will disappear this way, wasted on impulses that felt good for the moment but left you with nothing in the long run. Discipline is freedom. People hear that and think it sounds like a contradiction, but it's the truth. When you discipline your mind, you gain the freedom to build the life you want. You gain the freedom to resist distractions, the freedom to say no to weakness, the freedom to stay consistent long enough to achieve something meaningful. Without discipline, you are a slave to laziness, to fear, to every passing desire. With discipline, you become the master. You tell your mind where to go, what to focus on, and how to respond. You're no longer controlled by emotions, but by principles. You no longer act out of impulse, but out of intention. That is the only way to build anything great, because nothing worthwhile is built without control. Look at anyone who has achieved success in any field, athletes, leaders, entrepreneurs, warriors. The common thread is not talent, it's not luck, it's discipline. They trained their minds to obey, to stay focused, to keep pushing long after others gave up. They mastered the art of doing what they must, not what they feel. And because of that, they built lives most people only dream of. Discipline is what separates winners from everyone else. Because in the end, talent without discipline dies. Ambition without discipline collapses. Dreams without discipline stay dreams. But discipline can take even an ordinary person and turn them into something extraordinary. When you lose discipline of your mind, you lose control of your habits. And when you lose control of your habits, you lose control of your future. Because the future is nothing more than the accumulation of your daily actions. Skip enough days, give in to enough excuses, and you build a future of regret. But train your mind to stay disciplined every single day, and you build a future of strength, wealth, and freedom. That is why discipline is not just important, it is everything. It decides whether you rise or whether you stay stuck. It decides whether you command your life or whether life commands you. But here's the truth no one wants to admit. Discipline is not something you wait to feel. It's something you decide. You don't wake up one day magically motivated. You wake up and force yourself to act, and the discipline grows as you repeat it. Every time you win the battle against your weaker self, You strengthen the chains of discipline. Every time you give in, those chains break, and soon you're left with nothing but weakness. Discipline is built in the small decisions. The choice to get up when you want to sleep, the choice to work when you want to rest, the choice to keep going when you want to quit. Those moments define your entire life. You cannot afford to let your mind wander freely, because the default setting of the mind is comfort, and comfort kills dreams. Discipline is about redirecting your thoughts whenever they drift into weakness. It's about catching yourself in the moment and saying, no, this is not who I am. This is not the life I want. Discipline is telling your mind what to think instead of letting it tell you what to do. And once you master that, you become unstoppable. You can endure pain because your mind won't let you quit. You can stay focused because your mind refuses distraction. You can stay consistent because your mind has been trained to obey you, not the other way around. The undisciplined mind is chaos. The disciplined mind is power. One leads to mediocrity, the other leads to greatness. One leads to excuses, the other leads to results. One makes you a victim of your own impulses, the other makes you the master of your destiny. The choice is yours. Every single day you decide whether to strengthen your discipline or weaken it. Every single thought, every action, every moment is a chance to build control or lose it. And the scary truth is this: if you don't discipline your mind now, one day you'll look back and realize you wasted your life, because you let your own thoughts betray you. So discipline your mind or lose control of your life. Decide today, right now, that you will no longer be ruled by laziness, fear, or distraction. Decide that your mind will obey you. Decide that no excuse is strong enough to hold you back. Discipline your thoughts and you will discipline your actions. Discipline your actions and you will discipline your future. And once you have mastered that, you will no longer live like everyone else. You will rise above them, unshakable, unstoppable, and absolutely in control of your destiny. Reject weakness and excuses instantly. This is the mindset that separates the powerful from the powerless, the successful from the forgotten. Weakness is the poison that seeps into your thoughts and convinces you to settle for less than you deserve. Excuses are the lies you tell yourself to feel better about failing, the soft pillow you use to comfort your lazy mind when you choose not to rise to your full potential. The moment you accept weakness or give life to an excuse, you are handing away your power. You are choosing to be average, choosing to stay stuck, choosing to betray your own future. And the harsh truth is this: every single time you choose weakness over strength, you kill the person you could have been. Life is not gentle. It does not care about your feelings, your comfort, or your excuses. The world rewards strength, resilience, and action. It punishes weakness, hesitation, and self-pity. If you want to rise, you cannot afford to negotiate with weakness. The second it appears in your mind, you must destroy it. When you catch yourself saying, I can't, you must replace it with, I will. When you hear the voice whisper, tomorrow, you must answer now. Weakness must never be debated with, because weakness is a liar. It will tell you to rest when you need to grind. It will tell you to quit when you're close to breaking through. It will tell you that your dreams are impossible, that you're not good enough, that success is for someone else. If you believe it, you are finished. Excuses are the defense system of weakness. They are clever, they are seductive, and they sound logical. I don't have time. I don't have money. I'm too tired. It's too hard. But excuses don't solve your problems. They protect your problems. Excuses are nothing more than stories you repeat until they feel true, and the more you repeat them, the deeper they sink into your identity. Soon, you no longer see them as excuses, you see them as reality. And once that happens, you have built your own prison and thrown away the key. But the truth is brutal. Every excuse is just weakness dressed up as reason. Time, you make time for what you value. Money, you create opportunities when you're resourceful. Tired, everyone is tired. Winners keep moving anyway. Hard, everything worth having is hard. Excuses only exist to give you a way out, and every time you use one, you choose to stay small. Rejecting weakness means raising your standards so high that you refuse to tolerate anything less than your best. It means being ruthless with yourself, not letting even a hint of laziness slide by unchallenged. It means taking control of your inner dialogue and refusing to let negative thoughts camp in your head. Weakness grows when it is entertained. Excuses multiply when they are believed. The solution is immediate rejection. People, you don't argue with them, you don't analyze them, you don't postpone action, you crush them on sight and move forward. The stronger your rejection of weakness becomes, the more unstoppable you become, because weakness cannot live in a mind that refuses it. This is not about being perfect, it's about refusing to surrender. You will feel weak at times. You will be tempted to make excuses, but the decision you must make is this: you will never let those moments define you. You will never let them dictate your behavior. You will always choose strength over surrender, action over hesitation, responsibility over excuses. That is the warrior mindset, and it is available to anyone who is willing to stop lying to themselves. Ask yourself right now, how many times have you let weakness rob you of opportunity? How many times have you said, I'll start tomorrow, and tomorrow never came? How many chances have you wasted because you listened to the voice of excuses instead of the voice of strength? That pain you feel when you think about it, that regret, is proof of what weakness costs. And the only way to kill regret is to kill weakness in the moment it shows up. The more you practice instant rejection, the more natural it becomes. Soon, excuses won't even sound appealing to you because you'll be addicted to the power that comes from rejecting them. Weakness is the easy road, excuses are the comfortable bed, but both lead to the same destination: regret, failure, and mediocrity. Strength is the hard road, responsibility is the heavy load, but they lead to greatness. Every day, you are choosing which path you walk. Don't lie to yourself and say you don't have control. You do. You can reject weakness right now. You can stop making excuses right now. You can demand more from yourself right now. The moment you decide that weakness is not welcome in your life is the moment everything begins to shift. Rejecting weakness and excuses instantly is not just about building success, it's about building identity. It's about becoming the kind of person who cannot be broken, who cannot be stopped, who refuses to surrender under any circumstances. It's about looking in the mirror and knowing you are not cheating yourself anymore. That kind of power cannot be given by anyone else. It must be taken by force from within. So the next time weakness whispers in your ear, remember this: it is lying to you. The next time an excuse tries to crawl into your mind, remember this: it is theft in disguise. And if you want to own your future, if you want to live as the strongest version of yourself, you must reject them immediately, without hesitation, without compromise. Weakness has no place in your life. Excuses have no place in your destiny. Reject them instantly, and you will unlock the strength that has been inside you all along. Train your mind daily like a muscle. Just like the body weakens without exercise, the mind deteriorates without discipline, practice, and challenge. Most people live their lives as if their minds are supposed to take care of themselves, as if strength, focus, and resilience will appear out of thin air. But the truth is simple. The mind is like any other muscle in your body. If you don't train it, it stays weak. If you train it inconsistently, it grows slowly and softens quickly. But if you train it daily, if you feed it, stretch it, push it, and challenge it, it becomes sharp, powerful, and unbreakable. The strongest people in this world are not the ones with the biggest bodies, but the ones with the strongest minds, because the body follows where the mind leads. Think about how muscles grow. They grow when you stress them, when you lift weights that feel heavy, when you push past the point of comfort. The process is not easy, it hurts, and sometimes it even feels like failure. But that pain, that resistance is exactly what makes the muscle grow. The mind works the same way. If you never push your mind out of its comfort zone, it will never grow. If you never force it to think deeper, focus harder, or endure longer, it will always remain fragile. People wonder why they break so easily under pressure. It's because their mind was never trained to handle weight. They spent their lives avoiding discomfort, and then when real challenges came, they collapsed. Training the mind daily means deliberately exposing yourself to struggle, to discipline, to self-control. It means reading when you'd rather scroll endlessly on your phone. It means focusing on building skills instead of wasting hours on distractions. It means sitting in silence, controlling your thoughts instead of letting them run wild. It means catching every excuse your brain creates and crushing it on the spot. Every time you do this, you are strengthening your mental muscle. You are building endurance. You are teaching your brain that you, not your impulses, are in control. But here's what most people don't realize. The mind is constantly training itself, whether you are conscious of it or not. If you feed it weakness daily, it becomes skilled at weakness. If you feed it excuses daily, it becomes skilled at excuses. If you feed it distractions daily, it becomes skilled at distraction. You are either training strength or training weakness. There is no neutral. That's why it's so important to be intentional, to take control of what your mind consumes and how it is challenged. Left unchecked, the mind will always drift towards comfort because comfort feels easy, but comfort destroys growth. Just like in the gym, consistency matters more than intensity. Lifting once a month won't build muscle. Thinking strong thoughts once in a while won't build resilience. You need daily practice, small but relentless. Start the day by setting your thoughts with intention. Decide who you are, what you stand for, and what you will do. Then, throughout the day, notice the moments when weakness appears and use them as opportunities to train. Every excuse is a weight to lift. Every fear is a rep to complete. Every distraction is a chance to practice focus. That is how the mental muscle grows. Not in the easy moments, but in the difficult ones. Training your mind also means guarding it, just as you would guard your body from poison. What you feed your mind determines its strength. If you feed it negativity, gossip, and fear, it will weaken. If you feed it knowledge, challenge, and vision, it will strengthen. The books you read, the conversations you allow, the thoughts you entertain, these are all part of your mental training. Most people don't even realize they are poisoning themselves daily with garbage information, empty entertainment, and endless negativity. Then they wonder why their mind feels weak and unfocused. A strong mind cannot grow in toxic soil. You must be ruthless about what you allow into your head. Another key to training the mind is embracing discomfort deliberately. Just as muscles are built by lifting heavier weights, your mind is built by facing heavier challenges. Do things that scare you, do things that stretch you, push yourself into situations that force you to grow. The more you step into discomfort, the more your mind learns that it can handle pressure, that it can survive difficulty, that it can thrive under stress. Soon, situations that once broke you will feel light because your mind has grown stronger. Just as an athlete laughs at lifting a weight that once crushed him, you will laugh at problems that once felt impossible. The truth is, a trained mind is a free mind. Weak minds are slaves to fear, to distraction, to emotion, to comfort. Strong minds are masters. They control themselves, they control their focus, they control their destiny. And the strength of your mind is built in the same way any muscle is built, through daily discipline, through resistance, through practice, through patience. So train your mind daily like a muscle. Challenge it, stretch it, stress it, feed it with discipline and starve it of weakness. Protect it from poison and sharpen it with truth. Do not let a single day pass without lifting some mental weight, because the day you stop training your mind is the day it starts to weaken. And in this world, weakness will cost you everything: your goals, your freedom, your future. Strength will give you everything, but you cannot borrow strength. You cannot fake strength. You must build it. And you build it through daily training, rep by rep, choice by choice, thought by thought. If you commit to that, your mind will grow into the most powerful weapon you own. And once your mind is unstoppable, nothing in this world will ever be able to stop you. Correct thinking creates unstoppable momentum. Momentum is the invisible force that makes success feel inevitable once it begins. It's the energy that compounds, the rhythm that builds, the fire that spreads until nothing can put it out. But momentum does not start by accident. It starts in the mind. It begins with correct thinking because your thoughts are the spark that ignites action, and repeated action is what creates momentum. If your thinking is wrong, your actions will be wrong, your habits will be weak, and your momentum will work against you. But if your thinking is correct, disciplined, focused, unshakable, you set yourself in motion toward a future that grows faster and faster with every step you take. Think of a train. When it's still, it takes immense energy to get moving. It resists. It feels heavy. That's why most people quit. They don't understand that the hardest part is the beginning, but once the train is moving, once momentum is built, it becomes unstoppable. It can smash through obstacles that would have blocked it at the start. It's exactly how life works. At first, the grind feels slow, but the progress feels invisible. Your mind tells you to quit because the results don't show up instantly. But if your thinking is correct, you keep moving anyway. You keep showing up. You keep pushing. You keep stacking effort on effort. And eventually, the momentum shifts. Suddenly, the results compound. Suddenly, the path feels lighter. Suddenly, everything starts to fall into place, not because it got easier, but because your momentum got stronger. The problem is that most people destroy their own momentum with incorrect thinking. They think short-term instead of long-term. They think in emotions instead of principles. They think in excuses instead of responsibilities. So they start and stop, and never build lasting force. Correct thinking eliminates that cycle. Correct thinking says, I don't need instant results. I need consistency. Correct thinking says, my emotions do not decide my actions, my vision does. Correct thinking says, I will not stop until I win. That mindset, repeated daily, fuels action without hesitation. And repeated action builds the momentum that makes you dangerous, unstoppable, and unbreakable. Momentum is not magic, it is mathematics. Every disciplined choice adds weight. Every correct decision adds speed. Every sacrifice adds power. And soon, the small wins pile up into big victories. You start noticing the shift. The work that once felt impossible feels natural. The focus that once slipped easily becomes automatic. The discipline that felt forced becomes part of your identity. That is momentum, when correct thinking and correct action become who you are instead of what you struggle to do. But here's the critical truth. You must protect your momentum with everything you have. One weak thought, one excuse, one compromise can be enough to derail it. Just like a train can be slowed by brakes, your progress can be slowed by doubt, laziness, and distraction. That's why correct thinking must be relentless. You cannot afford to entertain weakness, even for a second, because momentum is fragile at the start. The early days demand the most discipline, the most clarity, the most consistency. But if you pass that test, if you hold the line long enough, your momentum becomes self-sustaining. It carries you forward, even on days you feel tired, even on days you feel uninspired, because the system is already moving at full force. Correct thinking creates momentum not only in goals, but in life as a whole. When you train your mind to think with discipline, courage, and clarity, every area improves. Your health improves because you stop making excuses. Your work improves because you stay focused. Your relationships improve because you think with accountability. Each improvement feeds into the other, creating a cycle of growth that compounds endlessly. This is why once a person develops the right mindset, it seems like everything starts going their way. It's not luck, it's momentum. They thought correctly long enough to create an unstoppable flow, and now the universe has no choice but to respond. What's dangerous is negative momentum, and it's built the same way. Weak thoughts lead to weak actions. One skip day leads to another. One excuse leads to 10. One moment of doubt multiplies into weeks of hesitation. Before you know it, you're stuck in a downward spiral, wondering how you got so far off track. The truth? You created momentum in the wrong direction. That's why correct thinking is not optional. It's essential because your mind is always building momentum, one way or the other. And the only way to guarantee rise instead of fall is to take control of your thoughts. When you master this, life becomes less about effort and more about flow. At first, discipline feels heavy, but soon momentum carries you. You no longer need to fight yourself to do the right thing. It becomes automatic. Just like a professional athlete doesn't think twice about training, just like a soldier doesn't hesitate in combat, you move forward without hesitation because your momentum is too strong to stop. That is what makes you dangerous. That is what makes you unshakable. That is what makes you unstoppable. So train your mind to think correctly every single day. Cut off negative thoughts before they spread. Reject excuses before they take root. Replace fear with faith. Replace hesitation with action. Replace weakness with discipline. Do it long enough, and your thoughts will align with your actions will align with your vision, and your vision will align with your reality. Then the force of momentum will carry you farther than you ever thought possible. Correct thinking creates unstoppable momentum, and unstoppable momentum creates a life without limits. That power is inside you, waiting to be activated. The question is simple. Will you choose to think correctly and build momentum toward greatness, or will you allow weakness to control your thoughts and build momentum toward regret? The choice is yours, but understand this. Once the wheel starts spinning, it will not stop. So make sure it spins in your favor. And now I leave you with this. Everything you want, everything you dream, everything you know deep down you are capable of becoming will not be given to you. It must be taken. Not by chance, not by luck, not by waiting for the perfect moment, but by commanding your mind to think correctly every single day. Because the mind is the starting point of all victories and all defeats. If you let weakness live in your head, your life will remain weak. If you allow excuses to take root, your future will wither. But if you discipline your mind, if you train it daily like a muscle, if you reject excuses instantly and replace them with action, then nothing on this earth can stop you. Momentum will build, strength will grow, and opportunities will bow to your will. So decide right here, right now, that you will never again let your thoughts betray you. Decide that you will rise, that you will fight, that you will dominate your own mind before you attempt to dominate the world. Because once your mind is mastered, your life is mastered. And from that moment forward, you will be unstoppable.